The Tropico series has been around for about a decade now, allowing gamers to rule over tropical paradises as loving and caring rulers or cruel and unusual dictators, or a bit of both.
A dictator is an all-powerful ruler of a country. They're similar to prime ministers or presidents, except they typically come to power by force and have final say in every decision.
Hold up a sec there, Darren. It sounds like you're trying to teach us about history and politics, and I think you'll find we're here to talk about games.
Well, Barjo, the spawnlings need to have a basic understanding of dictatorships to appreciate the political satire of Tropico.
Well, Darren, I think you've done a pretty good job, so let's let the spawnlings figure the rest out for themselves. When you start the game, you're faced with a character creation tool, which is similar to an RPG. You can choose from a list of real dictators to play as, but we'd suggest making your own custom-made character, since then you can choose the bonuses to suit your playstyle. Which also mean you can have a top hat.
The main campaign is a series of 20 different scenarios, which all have a specific goal, usually involving building up one kind of industry. For example, one mission might force you to earn a set amount of money from mining exports, while another makes you focus on becoming a popular tourist destination. There's also a plain old sandbox mode if you just want to muck about.
Now, you might think this is just a standard city builder, but it's much deeper than that, and that's because all of your citizens are individuals with their own wants and needs. So you have to set up all the things that a real society needs, like efficient transport, healthcare, entertainment, education, and of course, a healthy economy.
And without the basics of life like food and housing, you end up with people dying of starvation and living in filthy shacks. But then it all goes much deeper than that too, since everyone has their own political standing. For example, if you build a giant factory, then you'll earn the respect of the capitalists, but the environmentalists won't be so down with it.
Peace and love, dear Presidente. Please accept this flower wreath as a gift and hear my plea.
Of course, you're a dictator, so you don't really have to care about what anyone thinks if you don't want to. If you want to build a society with no schools, churches or hospitals, and where everyone works on a farm and lives in grotty little hovels, then you can do just that.
But be warned, if your people aren't happy, then they'll start to rebel against you and launch attacks. And then if they get too upset, they'll overthrow you completely.
I always knew giving weapons to a bunch of men in uniforms was a bad idea. Here is your proof!
Yeah, and if that happens or you lose an election, then it's game over. So building a nice place to live is important.
Or you could just build up your military and crush all those who oppose your mighty rule. Viva el Presidente! You can even set up a secret police agency to arrange an accident for your opposition. Or if you're about to lose an election, you can simply rig it to win.
Setting up a healthy economy is quite deep too. There's usually a few levels to everything. For example, you can set up a logging camp which will simply cut down and export wood. But then you can build a lumber yard which will turn your wood into more profitable lumber. And then you can set up a furniture factory to make high-grade furniture from the lumber.
And each island is rich in just a few types of natural resources, and your farms need to be near fertile ground for specific crops. So you really need to tailor your economy to what's available on your island.
But one of the new features in Tropico 4 is the ability to import resources. So you can just build a furniture factory and import the lumber from somewhere else, although it is much more profitable to set up your own supply chain.
While we're talking about new features, the last game, Tropico 3, is almost identical to this. Look at them side by side here. Spot the difference, but there are subtle changes. It's much easier to make money now, and also the islands are much bigger. It used to take forever to make cash in the last game, so I'm glad that's been tweaked. Also, the building used to take a long time too, so now there's an autocomplete option, and I like that.
Yeah, and there are some new buildings too, which help fix some of the previous game's flaws. There are a lot more options for tourist attractions and power plants, for example, but the most notable addition is probably the minister's office, because now you need to hire ministers if you want to issue edicts such as literacy programs and tax cuts.
There's also oodles of disasters to worry about now, from oil spills to tornadoes. It's always great to see a bit of chaos.
Okay, Hex, I've got an island to manage, so let's wrap this up. Final thoughts.
Well, it may take a little while to get your head around all the intricacies of this game, but I quite liked that. You know, I found I was constantly thinking about ways to build bigger and better cities, and I think that's the mark of a good city builder. I also just really enjoy the humour, so I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
This feels more like an expansion than a true sequel, but fans will be happy with the tweaks, I think. And if you've never played Tropico before, this is a great place to start. I'm giving it 7 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I noticed all the islands you ran, Barjo, always ended up turning into banana republics.
I like bananas. They're delicious.
Lol.
What's a banana republic?
Never mind, Barjo.
They like bananas there? They're banana plantations.
You'll understand when you're older.